Hey, it's nutritionist and maintainable weight loss coach Trisha Mandis here, and I am thrilled because I have an amazing human, Robin P, here with me. She's 43 years old from Kentucky, and last week she graduated from phase 1 of the program, our 10-week program, and I am super honored to be here with her. Not only did she do an amazing job fully throwing herself into the program, but she's also just a hilarious, wonderful human being. So thank you so much for being here, Robin. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. You're amazing.
Oh, you're sweet. Thanks. So let's start out, Robin, by you, if you're comfortable sharing, how did you struggle with your weight and your health before you joined the program? What was going on in your day-to-day life that was hard for you?
I've always struggled with my weight from the time that I was a young child. I went from being a skinny little kid to just seemed like overnight the pounds just started coming on. And looking back, there's lots of physical, lots of emotional stuff happening, and hindsight's 2020, right? But that resulted in me being put on my first basically crash diet at the age of 8, and that's pretty much how I lived the rest of my life. Up until I hit my late 30s probably, and realized that there was different ways or better ways out there than what I was doing to myself continuously. And I had a degree of success at a time where I lived alone basically for a year. I dropped 30 pounds within that year, and just because of the situation I was in, I had to walk every day. And then when I went back to my regular life, all of the weight came back, and I couldn't walk the way that I was used to doing anymore. And then it just entered a phase where I just had some really hard life things going on that couldn't be controlled. But my mother's health was tanking to the point of almost death, and went through a couple of years of that. And my best friend was diagnosed with cancer and passed away. And there was nothing left in the tank for me. So it was just 3 solid years of putting one foot in front of the other. And I neglected me and my health and everything that goes along with it. So at the end of that, when I felt like I was finally waking up from it, I was at the heaviest that I've ever been in my life, and didn't feel like I knew what to do to fix it. And that's when I found you.
And I'm so thankful that you did. Not that you found me, but you found it within yourself to take the leap and come into the program. So are you comfortable, Robin, sharing with us what results have you achieved just 10 weeks from being here?
Yeah.
How that's changed your life, in if it has in any way?
Well, so a big part of this also, not only was I at my heaviest, but I had got this problem going on with the tendons in my ankles. And so I was literally in a cast when you and I first started talking. So not only that, but I was taking Advil, ibuprofen by the handful. And I don't think that I even wrote it on my questionnaire, but because it had just become so much a part of what I had to do on a daily basis, or at least several times a week, was taking a tablet of Pepcid AC before I went to bed, just to be able to not have heartburn and acid reflux all through the night. But I'm sure that I could go back into my notes. I couldn't tell you exactly how fast that it stopped, but from the moment that I started eating optimally, from the very first day. I have not had another Pepcid AC in that entire time.
That's amazing. So you joined the program with a foot injury that made exercise more challenging. That was also very physically painful, and you had heartburn, and you haven't had to take a Pepcid AC since you started. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then my ibuprofen. Maybe you can go back and find it. I know that we've talked about it, but it went from me taking a minimum of 1,200 milligrams a day to nothing, to zero. And that also happened very quickly. And so along with all of that, my weight just was a steady decline week to week, and ended up losing 20 pounds in 10 weeks. And you told me when we first had our conversation that how would you like to lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks? I was like, yeah, that sounds really good, but I really didn't believe that. I was like, oh, that's best case scenario. It's not going to happen. But shoot, it happened. It happened. And that whole 10 weeks was not, best case scenario. Life still happens and gets in the way. And I wasn't perfect every day, but it comes off and you can get right back to it when you fall off. You just get back up and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to repeat what you said just because it was like a little windy and we had a bad connection. But the fact that you said that you lost 20 pounds in 10 weeks and on our first phone call conversation, I was like, how would that feel to achieve that? Because it's totally possible. And you were highly skeptical, but you did achieve that. And you're right. Like, life doesn't stop when you decide to especially when you decide to up-level your life and make an improvement. It definitely doesn't stop it. You were able to accomplish all of this with an injury and life coming at you like crazy. Like, you worked so much during the program. Yeah. But the awesome thing about you is you still attended the calls. You were still active in the Facebook group. You still completed your food journal every day. You still weighed yourself. You did the work that you had to do, which is why you got these results and why you're going to continue to get results. And you started exercising again, which was your 1-year goal, which was to get back in the pool. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? You just got into a pool and started swimming again for the first time after 3 years.
Right.
Go, Robin, go. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. So what hesitations did you have about signing up for the program, and why? And why did you decide to do it anyway?
Hesitation. I mean, I've already tried so many things throughout my life, and it's like short-term success, but never anything that I could keep up without either a lot of work or a lot of help. And so, just from previous experiences with different programs, there's always that little bit of, oh, is this going to be the golden key? Is this going to be the thing that works? But just looking at your website and some of the links that you offered and the success that other people had was highly encouraging. But also just the way that you talked about food and the research that was done, and then what's so huge for me, given my family history, that this way of eating, eating optimally, is the only thing that's ever been proven to actually reverse heart disease. Not stop it, but reverse it.
Yeah.
And for me and my horrible genes, that's a great thing. So,
you were a little nervous because you tried so many things in the past, but you did it anyway because you're worth it. And if you don't try again, then nothing's definitely going to change. Do you feel like this is something you can stick
exactly
with?
Right?
Do you feel like you can stick with this for the rest
Absolutely.
of your life?
And that was the other thing. I think you and I had even talked about that. When you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity.
Yep. And for most people, that's diet pills and Weight Watchers. They just keep going back to Weight Watchers and keep going back. or
Yeah.
like meal replacement bars and things like that. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And you look at those shakes and meal replacement bars, and I've dabbled in it, but I've had friends who, that's what they go to, and that's like part of their daily routine. And then they wonder why their hair starts falling out, or their skin is terrible, or whatever it is that's happening to them. Well, when you put chemicals in your body instead of real food, I'm not sure exactly what you're expecting out of that. So,
well, congrats too. You got yourself out of the diet trap loop, which is what I called that. So you got yourself out of that insanity cycle. So you deserve a lot of credit for that. Would you recommend the program to other people who have been dieting their whole life, have 75, 100 pounds to lose, and may have an additional injury? Would you recommend the program to them, and why?
absolutely. This is what I feel like for me. This way of eating optimally is something that once you learn it, once you know how to do it, it becomes second nature. You go to the grocery store, you might be a little overwhelmed at first. That's what I was for probably the first 2 weeks. And then it was, this is what I can eat. This is what I'm going to eat. This is what tastes good. This is what makes me feel good. And I don't have to measure it. I don't have to count calories. I don't have to do anything except maybe look at the back of a package at the nutrition level or nutrition label and make a quick calculation if it's anything other than fruits and vegetables. But yeah, it becomes easy and it becomes second nature. And when you start seeing these results, it just makes you want to keep going.
Yeah.
And people notice, and people say, "What are you doing? Well, you look good," or "Tell me what you're doing," or "How can you eat that? I know that you're, supposed to be on this diet." And I always corrected them from diet. No, this is no longer a diet. This is the way that I eat in the end. But yeah, it's crazy because you're doing things that you've been taught, and what I guess mainstream America is taught that you shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting these incredible results. Yeah.
Getting to eat really filling foods that you really like, that taste good.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. What are you most excited for your life now moving forward, that you are eating optimally, you're getting healthier, you're losing weight, starting to exercise again? What is lighting you up more about your life now that wasn't before?
I have a degree of confidence back that was severely lacking.
Confidence in what way?
I just felt like a failure. And I knew that, well, I didn't think that I looked good, and I definitely didn't feel good. And now all of that started to change. I am not repulsed by the image looking back at me in the mirror, and I feel alive, and you have more energy, and my body is beginning to cooperate with me again. So I still got a lot of this world that I need to see and do things when I get to those different places that I've never been before. So I just want to enjoy life.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're getting back to that place. It makes me very, very happy to hear. Is there anything else that you want to tell the person that's watching this video that maybe you haven't shared yet?
I would say that if you think that you've tried everything and that nothing is going to work for you, to try this. Try one more thing. What have you got to lose, right? And it's real food. It's not counting it. It's not going crazy over the scale. It's just listening and trusting the process. And just relaxing about food. Just listen to Trisha and her guidelines and eat the things that you're being told to eat and enjoy the things that you're that you're eating, and just relax, and it's going to change.
Yay. Yay for relaxing, things changing, and enjoying what you eat. Thank you so much, Robin, for taking the time. I'm so excited for you and your future. And it's been so fun to be on this journey with you. So thank you so much. And credit to you for doing this for yourself. You really deserve to feel proud of yourself.
Thank you.